Ban. Radiant team ban. Team Liquid's turn to ban. Radiant team pick. Team Liquid's turn to pick.
And we're back for the grand finals of the Americas qualifier here at our coverage of the TI4 qualies, presented by Monster Energy. I'm AC, this is Fear, and suddenly a BO5 is a BO3, but to tell you the truth, that feels like a much bigger win for Team Liquid than just that, because we saw them, they just kind of got rocked in game one, and you wonder, it's like, okay, are they going to be playing from a 2-0 hole? And even in most cases, when you win and you nod it, it's like, all right, now just... you take a breath and you're ready to reset. But what ended up happening was one of the most dominant performances we've seen throughout the entire quali. I keep on calling you former because I haven't seen you play in so long. As a former, current, and awesome professional player, how energizing is that for a team to just come out and just dominate on a stage this big?
I guarantee you, all of them at the Liquid House, as soon as I came in, they all jumped up and are excited. So yeah, if you take a game like that, you're feeling pretty good going into the next game, no doubt.
Radiant team
Well,
pick.
the draft is already underway. We'll waste no more time. Of course, we'll have Synderen and Merlini back to recap after this, so make sure you stay tuned for that following the match. The draft is looking kind of how we anticipated, if we're honest. As we can see, the Morphling is banned out in the first phase, and for the second game in a row, Keeper of the Light banned out in the first phase as well.
Yeah, Liquid did have a loss to Keeper of the Light earlier against NAR, so I guess they collectively decided Caudle was the problem there, let's deal with it and eliminate. In the last series as well, they banned these two exact same heroes. So it looks like they found like what they want to ban against NAR. And if something's not broke, why change it, right?
Yeah, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, man.
Yeah.
Old American parable.
And what's really interested to me so far in this draft is Disruptor is going on Team Liquid.
Yep.
This is a Snaw invention right here. This Disruptor first two is something Snaw was doing almost every single game they could get their hands on it. And it looks like the other teams are picking up on it and seeing like, all right, Disruptor this year was getting a little ridiculous. Its pullback is very, very strong. And maybe just because of the Batrider, they picked it just so the NAR could not have it.
Well, Disruptor is one of those heroes, especially when you reveal it early. You can anticipate a certain play style that's kind of necessitated. I mean, obviously he's good in all cases, but he's especially good whenever you're expecting to be playing kind of a gank style, whenever you're expecting to be applying pressure and forcing situations where the enemy wants to retreat from you. That's when you can turn maybe one pick off in the midst of a team fight and they decide to retreat. Now it becomes two, and now it becomes a tower. Now it becomes a lot of gold and a lot of items on your supports. So we'll see how Liquid's going to continue to add to that and out by TL. I really like that Shadow Fiend ban by NAR. I was just thinking, Liquid, when you're coming in with this much momentum, having a snowballish kind of a mid, like a Shadow Fiend, like a TA, a Flash Farmer like a Shadow Fiend in particular, just becomes such an X factor, and they don't want to give that away. TL, in response, does draft the mid, though. It'll be the Dragon Knight.
Yeah, and that's one of the two heroes, as you were saying. Quakefa plays Shadow Fiend and Morphling most every single game for this team. When he doesn't get it, he was playing the Dragon Knight, so he may play that again, but at the same time we have TC who plays a lot of Dragon Knight as well. I assume we'll see a TC on it, but it is a hero Quakefa can play too. So looking onto NAR's draft, they're going with a very standard opening. Mirana Shadow Demon, can't get more standard than that unless you're going Mirana Bane. Very, very standard 1-2 punch right there. And looking up into the draft, what do they want to pick here? They have their safe lane. I'm sure they would have loved I do like the Brewmaster ban a lot. That's the hero Korok loves to play. And that's something you were talking about last game right there. You'd love to see that Dazzle with the Shadow Demon combo. It does so much damage. If you hit an arrow with the illusions and the heal bomb, that's almost an instant kill on any hero. That'll make Batrider's life very hard. Yeah,
that's just like, I actually like Shadow Demon and Dazzle with a Mirana as opposed to a Bane, just because whenever you disrupt to lead off, the chain that comes out from that with the Shadow Demon, you know exactly, you can do things like try to run another hero in front to block the arrow and try to prioritize, but if it's well set up, it's guaranteed the arrow is going to hit someone, even if it isn't the primary target.
You can't juggle the Nightmare. Like
exactly. And with Nightmare juggling, good positioning, you can usually deal with that, and at this level, these teams have no problem with that. But with the Dazzle, picked up out. Like you said, the kill potential is absolutely massive, and it happens in the blink of an eye. You know, it's the sort of thing that if it's timed correctly, the arrow has such a huge hitbox that it can actually be past the point where it would normally impact the hero. If any part of that arrow connects with that hero when he emerges from the disruption, it can basically be perfectly overlapped if timed correctly.
Yeah.
Then you have the mass burst damage that comes from a Shadow Wave afterwards. Team Liquid,
Radiant
though,
team
let's say it one more time, man. Say it in unison. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Fix it, yeah.
Another Ursa pick.
So they had great success with it. That pretty much guarantees Quakefoot will be playing this Dragonite, so that answers that question. They could have saved
Ten seconds remaining.
want that Ursa, so they take it on the 4th pick,
5
which means they only need one more support hero. Rubik could be another pickup for him. Ursa, Rubik is very strong. You telekinesis into the Ursa. Yeah, you don't want to be telekinesis into a big bad bear like that.
No.
Unless you have something like a Puck or something like that. And that's something we're talking about with the Shadow Demon as well with the arrow combination. Even Puck cannot phase shift that combo. That's how strong it is. But I don't think Team Liquid is looking to do it. They need one more support. But if it's the other way around, they could have dealt with it. And North American Rejects, they like to play more early game, more tower pushing kind of style. And Enchantress seems to be one of their favorite heroes. I wouldn't mind seeing a hero like that, but unfortunately they do have their 2 supports. So they need something that can push. They do not have the Dragonite. They tried Luna last game. Luna is not that good against Ursa at all. I was talking about how it's good against Morphling, but Ursa is a hero that destroys Luna. You just get on top of her, and she dies almost instantly to that combo, as we saw.
What do you think about the option of potentially going aggressive here? Disruptor, we know how much it hurts to be caught with Thunderstrike. You know, it is one of the highest level 1 nukes you're going to see. But what you see right now is, other than that, he functions best whenever he's situational. You know, he takes advantage of retreats. He takes advantage of all that. As a laner, he can be up and down. Ursa's kind of the same way. He's kind of in the same boat as a Lycan. You know, he's a melee hero, and he does have Earthshock, and that's always nice. But when you have 3 ranged supports, the Shadow Demon, the Dazzle, the Mirana, we just talked about how potent that combo can be. What do you think about the idea of applying pressure to that Ursa and running aggressive? And that Lycan is now picked up for NA Rejects. That could obviously be a mid, but could also be a solo safe lane farm Lycan if they wanted to do something like that.
Yeah, they will not put him solo safe lane because he'll get wrecked by Batrider. But if he has one supporter, gets his wolves up to a little higher level, they take no damage
10
from the
seconds
Firefly whatsoever
remaining.
with that magic immunity. In fact, they'll out-regen it at level 7. So
5
that's a hero he needs a little
remaining.
help with. But Ursa is, I wouldn't compare him to Lycan as far as laning, because Ursa is one of those heroes that has so much
Reserve
burst
time.
damage, whereas
Right.
Lycan, his burst is not as great. You have the Howl, which is great if you have the right lineup built around it, but if they do pick up a Rubik here, like I suspect they would do, I doubt North American Rejects will go to that aggressive position lane, because if they do
Radiant
get caught
team
out just a
down.
little bit, one hero will get bursted down really fast. And Ursa's has one of the highest base armors in the game, so right-clicking him down is not easy if he does go for that poor man shield build.
Well, it does look like Liquid's anticipating an off-lane pick as they do ban the Puck. And we'll
10
see if
seconds
NAR
remaining.
wants to take out the Rubik, as you said. And yeah, I just like
5
this
seconds
lane in
remaining.
particular, the Mirana, Shadow Demon, Dazzle. It is so effective run aggressively, but you and I have actually had extensive
Reserve
off-camera
time.
conversations about it. The idea that this patch just isn't nearly as friendly to that kind of pressure at this
No.
level.
Team
It's
Liquid's
not.
It's going to be the
turn
Bane
pick.
actually banned out.
Yeah, we noticed that from Liquid. All their group stages matches against some of the weaker teams here, they ran aggressive tri-lanes, completely dominated. They tried it once against NAR, did not work.
Right.
Teams that see it coming and can know how to deal with it, aggressive tri-lanes are usually not that effective. So unless the other team gets really greedy, you will not see aggressive tri-lanes at this level. And these are like one of the
10 seconds
top 3
remaining.
best North American teams.
Right.
So
It looks
5
like
seconds
NAR is still
remaining.
looking for an off lane. We saw them run Brax on the Tide
Yeah.
Hunter in that situation before. How would you feel about a Tide pickup? It would give them
Reserve
some much
time.
needed AoE disable, because right now their disables are a little light. I mean, Disruption is a disable, but it's kind of a wonky disable. You know, it's not super reliable. Other than that, you basically have the mini stun from Poison Touch, and then you have the arrow. I feel like some AoE disable really would kind of round their lineup out a little bit more.
I would like to see Nyx Assassin here
Okay.
too for NAR. It could be good. It's a very good counter to Batrider. On top of that, the Ursa has a very tough time
10
killing a Nyx
seconds
with that
remaining.
spike carapace. So you can lock him down, and that's all you need to do. Tide, also another good
5
choice. I'm probably
seconds
expecting something
remaining.
like that. I was expecting
Radiant
not that,
team
but I was expecting a Rubik, but they're going to go with Enigma. Very greedy pick.
Greedy.
very greedy, but it is very good against Lycan. If he goes for that BKB build, just focus your Black Hole only on the Lycan, just disable him for the team fight, and that's usually enough for you to win the team fight. And right now, NAR has nothing that they can cancel a hole with if he gets that BKB up.
Yeah, and that kind of creates a situation where when you talk about the heroes that do have something that can cancel BKB, there are only many of them. I mean, you talk about, I'm just trying to think what the options are to actually go into a long lane. The list is so small. Other than just saying, okay, we're gonna play a high pressure game and just make that a moot point. We just won't let him get a BKB. But it seems more and more often Enigma players do prioritize that above just about anything else. Instead of, the old school kind of a build used to be, Russian mech and that kind of a thing. But more and more you see them honestly even skip Blink and just go, okay, I'm going to go straight brown boots and Darkseer. Okay, Darkseer is a fun pick. I don't know how to.
I'm not a big fan because the problem with Darkseer right here, the one good thing Darkseer can do right now is he can pressure that offlane really hard, knowing that Enigma will not be helping and jungle. That's a hero that can abuse dual lanes really hard. So I feel like they're going kind of all in on the laning phase here because they have no combination with Darkseer.
Right.
Like this vacuum is like, it sets up nothing. It'll be good if you can get the wall off. Darkseer is always good, but Darkseer really shines when you can have some type of combination with him. Whereas if I was hoping they would pick an Axe there, I think Axe would have been a really good choice for them. That's another hero that can lock down the Ursa. You get a ton of armor from the call, lock him down, and you can cancel hole with that too if he does get a BKB. So I was looking for something more of like a you can cancel BKB kind of hero, but there wasn't too many because they needed an offlaner. I also would have loved to see the Nyx Assassin, but Darkseer, if they do snowball through the laning phase, that is a great hero to abuse a weak offlane. And right now, Disruptor Ursa isn't going to be the strongest lane against the Darkseer.
Yep. We can see Bulba does get his ward down, and NAR moving over to try to protect it. We'll take a look and see if they have sentries, and if they do, they may anticipate that. They do have some on Fogged, and we'll see where he decides to put it. Instead, they're going to loop past the Roche pit, and they're going to duck their nose in just to take an eye, keep an eye on things, make sure everything is on the up and up. Doesn't look like there's going to be too much movement from anyone else as the laning phase begins to take shape. Once again, if you're tuning in, this is game number 3 and what has effectively become a best of 3. This best of 5 grand finals knotted 1 apiece. Liquid bouncing back with a dominant win in game 2. NAR looking to repeat the success they had in game 1. I'm your host AC, joined by Fear, and we're ready to take a look at the lineups as the horn blows and the creeps begin to spawn. And we'll take a look at the lineups as soon as we possibly can. For now, we're going to watch the rune, at least for the moment. And looks like, will be a haste rune. That's going to be spotted, pinged out, and looks like they're going to end up giving it to one of their own.
They might just use that to harass mid. They don't really have any great haste rune heroes. Like, as you see the Treant Protector with the haste, you've seen so many first bloods off that. Dazzle, Shadow Demon, Rana, not such great first blood heroes. And it looks like it's a solo Ursa top lane. Dual lane in the middle lane, and Enigma aggressive jungling. They predicted the aggressive tri-lane, and they're just going to dodge. They're going to have a very tough time on... You called the aggressive tri-lane. I thought they could have fought it if they picked something else, but since they chose Enigma, they have no chance in this lane.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was getting at is, we're going to see Ursa abused, and like you said... Understandably so, when you go with a greedy pick like Enigma, and this is one way you can abuse it, but what's weird is it wasn't picked to counter the Enigma. The Enigma was picked into it.
Yes.
So what do you think the thinking was that goes into that? Did they anticipate this? I mean, obviously they did. They dodged it, like you said. So is this just a trade-off they're willing to make? And if so, what motivated them to put themselves in this situation with that last pick Enigma?
I don't feel like this Enigma was really warranted, because I think it does put them in a position where they're playing from behind, and I don't believe... They want to give... NAR's not a team you want to give an advantage to. We've seen that too many times. They're really strong, but I think their logic is, we want a hero that can lock Lycan down, and there wasn't too many supports that could do it other than Enigma with that Black Hole, so I guess they're just really focusing on the mid-late game on how to deal with this Lycan.
Yeah, well, I don't know, though. I mean, it seems like they had enough tools. I mean, a BKB on a Lycan does come out, but usually it's a little bit late, and you already had the Disruptor up, just being able to get a kinetic field down, and having the lasso. If you lasso a Lycan into a kinetic field, he's not going anywhere. But as it is, TC is hanging out in the woods. He is not happy and a little bit scared, if we're honest, as this top tower is coming under a little bit of pressure. And laning phase, I mean, is this, like, obviously the status quo is not something Liquid can maintain and expect to have success in the mid game. How do they switch it up?
If Ursa can manage to not die up here, they can make up the gold loss with the Enigma in the jungle, but it really is reliant on how well TC can get experience and not die in this lane. Like, this early game is totally dependent on how well he can do in this top lane, I feel.
Well, it seems like that loads a lot of pressure in that case onto the DK as well, because they're going to have someone who can hit hard, and if the Ursa's slowed down, they really have to have Koikva on the DK ready to pick up some of that slack. And we could see TC has 0 CS, and they're going to go on the mark, and now big burst as the Shadow Wave is there to follow it up. First blood, and that's what they couldn't allow, they couldn't have happen. They just really, like you said, they're sacrificing a lot so far just to try to make that Enigma pick work out. But in losing your one carry and losing a hero who honestly doesn't play that well from behind to begin with, seems like it's not exactly going as planned.
Yeah, that's something they can't have happen. But unfortunately, with the way they draft, they have no way around it. They knew going to this, we're going to sacrifice our early game for some kind of mid-game / late-game bonus. And that's kind of, they didn't expect to win this top lane, so this isn't entirely not according to plan, but it's definitely not what they wanted. And especially the Mirana got the first blood out of all heroes in that lane. Well, so that means Ursa can no longer even go in this lane once she gets those phase boots up.
Yep. They're sending TC back. He's making his way up. He's got a poor man's shield and a little bit of regen. So he'll try to continue to suck what he can. We do see Liquid has rotated up the Enigma to this top lane. He is level 3.5. What kind of build do you think the Enigma is going to go for here?
Knowing Demon, he does love his Blink Dagger on Enigma. He may be this team decision to get a mech on him, but I know he does love getting that Blink, making the plays. He does mech. I do expect a Blink Dagger shortly after, and it looks like we're going to have a small pause here. There's some lag, a little bit of server problems. It is international, a lot of bandwidth being used. So more people that watch these games, we're going to start getting a little spikes, but so far, no real bad disconnects so far.
Yeah, well, I think it's been a pretty smooth event. We can see, you know, as much as how poorly things are going for Liquid, it's not the end of the world. They're only trailing a very marginal amount. But, you know, the graphs can only tell you so much. And a lot of it just looks like we might be having a major server issue. Yep, hang on, resume, and yeah. Fogged. Voicing what I think we're all feeling. And
time.
Yep.
The hashtag #4qualifier.
Almost ran into tower. So it looks like we are having some lag everywhere. Yep, as our awesome observer, Mr. LD Dodo, informs everyone. It's not just us, or not just them, but all of us having some lag. But all right, so there is a bright point or two. I mean, Koikva in mid on the DK is doing just fine. He's sitting atop the overall last hits at 23-7. The bat is hanging in there as well. He's got 15 up against this, and he hasn't really been under a whole lot of pressure. Mirana, though, is going to be the big standout for Gnar, and the Lycan is actually doing quite well, as is the Darkseer, and that's kind of the fall-off. Like, after that, it's a grab bag, except for the fact that it's 2 supports on one side, and then a support and a core that are sitting below 5 CS each.
I mean, the story of this game, you look at TC, he's like family farming the jungle. So they're in a little bit of a rough spot right here, just through the early game. But luckily for them, they do have heroes that just need levels, and then they can take the fight. I feel like Gnar's lineup, it's not like they have the great pushing power. They do with the Lycan, and their team fight's very weak compared to Gnar's. So Gnar really drafted to have a laning advantage with that Darkseer pick instead of taking like something like the Tide, as you were mentioning.
Right.
So they have to be doing this lineup, and the mid game is really when Liquid's gonna have the time to shine for themselves, but for now it's going to be all Gnar.
How much are you worried about delaying a Blink Dagger pickup on TC, though? Because when I look at Gnar's lineup, I see a lot of ways for them to just basically cope with that. You've got Shallow Grave, you're going to have a defensive disruption, you're going to have Demonic Purge. Mirana's notoriously hard to track down, as is Lycan once they find their level 6. And well, yeah, that's something we didn't even talk about. I mean, you have to account for the fact that you have Moonlight Shadow, and Ursa being such a focus fire, target fire kind of a hero to begin with. I think the Blink Dagger being delayed as much as it seems like it's going to be is actually going to be extremely impactful for Team Liquid and their ability to start taking fights in the mid-game.
Yeah, Ursa's one of those heroes that does not play well from behind.
No.
So it is going to be a major factor for them. So it's going to be all up to, once again, I feel like it's up to Bulba. He's having a good start here, and if he's able to make the space, he's going to have to make the space, I say, if Liquid wants a chance here for TC to get back into this game.
Yeah, he and Koikva, I think, are really going to be careful water. For a while due to this laning phase.
Koikva was doing really well in this mid lane as well, so that's always a good thing going for them.
So far, everything kind of remaining quiet. Both teams just happy to farm for their items. Bat picks up his Tranks, and usually you see a Bat Rider get Tranquil Boots on means a Blink Dagger is not far behind, so he'll be on his way to that. And very short order at bottom, we can see Bulba being zoned back a little bit, but using Firefly to keep that tower standing and pick up some CS as well. Takes his count to 29. Who do you think is going to be the first to really start to break down this laning phase, Liquid or Gnar?
It's probably going to be Liquid, I want to say. They do have DK with his level 6. Usually when DK gets level 6, he wants to start grabbing a tower, which is going to force reaction. And Batrider's going to have a fast Blink Dagger this game too, so he's going to start forcing things. Whereas Gnar wants to keep the laning phase for as long as they possibly can.
Fogged, revealing himself right there. He's actually, he's eating his way through those trees and is looking for another disruption. It's just going to be him and the Mirana this time, though. Dazzle's elsewhere, as rotated to bottom. And TC still quite low, sitting at just 8 CS overall. In the meantime, we see Dazzle's getting a fair amount of XP, and the experience gain has got to be a problem as well. We can see he's level 3.
He's looping around from behind here.
Let's see, there's the sticky napalm, looking for the lasso, will find it. On to 1437, Wei 2's there to help things out. The damage should be there. No, there's a surge. And 1437 able to make it away. Thunderstrike damage. There's a good glimpse, though, that's going to end up bringing Brax back. It's a tanky Darkseer. Disruptions there to bring it into this aggression. And Bulba could be in trouble. The Shadow Wave, though, not enough damage. One last auto attack from the Illusions. Not enough to bring him down either. So a nice effort from Team Liquid, but the reaction there from Gnar.
Yeah, that was very well played by Brax. They're saving his surge till after the lasso, getting the Shadow Priest out of there, and good rotation for Fog to help out Brax after he got glimpsed back in. Now on top lane, it looks like we're going to have a gank on Korok here. He does have his ult up. Do we have any detection? We do not, but we do have Black Hole up.
Black Hole isn't enough. Does he have the damage? Going to work, chopping wood. Korok! Whoa, he actually leaps, but caught mid-air with the Malefice from the Enigma. So very well executed that time, and I feel like they had to have that. He was beginning to look way too good out of that lane. 44 CS, 45 for the Lycans, actually very, very good as well. But good job there for Liquid, and now another disruption that's going to be on the Fog behind the tower, excuse me, Wei2, and followed up from 1437. He's going to end up dead for sure. Bulba going to try to get a return kill, chasing them back behind. Moonlight Shadow, though, goes off, and no detection means no kill, and no good coming from that if you're Team Liquid.
I think Fog might be able to get out here, but 1437, the Fool, is probably going to go down. Well, unless he can just walk by.
Oh, he makes it up into the woods. So 1437 taking a look at his assailant, his would-be assailant, and enjoying the fact that he's still breathing. And top, though, Tier 1 being pressured now by TC as well as Demon.
Yeah, one good thing that there's a fight breaking out, but the cool thing about Dragon Knight is the heroes. During that time against Snaking, he almost killed that Tier 1 mid, and when his ult's up again, he's getting another tower. If Liquid can get the tower advantage over Gnar, I think they're going to be in great shape. But if it goes the other way around, it's going to be very hard for Liquid, so it really comes down to who's able to get the towers this game, the Tier 1s.
Midas pickup for Snaking, and Midas on the Lycan. Thoughts?
I'm a fan, especially because they don't have the best late game. With I mean, Mirana Lycan is good, but I think I have to give the edge to like the Batrider and Ursa with the. I mean, it's just they have so much lockdown.
That would have been a max distance arrow, and Korok just
close
shot that one into the dark and almost found himself a target. But TC able to make it away. And we saw the net worth graph still in favor of North American Rejects. But like you said, I totally agree with you, by the way. The tower advantage a big deal, and it looks like Gnar recognizes that. They're going to try to get ahead of that and just start taking towers whenever they can, knowing they have the lead. They've already brought down the Tier 1 bottom. Now the Tier 1 top gone as well.
Tier 1 mid in trouble for Gnar here. Dragon form is up again. Looks like it will go down one way or another. Will they get the... Oh, someone's teeping in.
Yep, gonna get there quick. There's the immediate Dragon Tail. Bulba was down in the river. There's 1437 there. Yep, deny from Dazzle. Now they're trying to... Oh, good disruption catching Koifa. Dazzle looking to do some damage. Will he get off the Shadow Wave? No, he actually didn't shoot it. Arrow actually catches a creep. There's a leap forward from Korok. Another Dragon Tail slows things down. Snaking thought about diving into the tower range, but Koifa being chased by the Wolves. Wolf lost them in the woods, and Demon there to cut off the pursuit from the Pets. So 2-1 at the end of that. Deny, though, did go to Gnar.
And Ursa that whole time was actually trying to work on Roche. Didn't work out, but he is level 7. He doesn't have enough points into the Fury swipes there. So
Roshan
didn't work out.
Roshan beating his chest a little bit. So yeah, come back. Where you going? What, you don't want to fight? Oh, it's fine. Come on back. It's fine. But we still grouped in mid is Gnar. And anticipated that. We actually saw a little bit of jump on our side, too.
This server is having a little bit of problems, unfortunately.
And Veloth.
Hopefully it settles down, because this is not a game anyone wants to lose a team fight and potentially lose the game off of lag.
Worth mentioning, by the way, and we see it's updated down at the bottom. I'm not sure how up to date that is. We're approaching $5 million in total prize pool, man. Like right there. Did we hit it? Okay.
$5 million.
What's going on, production crew? Why aren't we up to date?
I think it updates like every couple hours.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
It's a little bit. It's a little bit. Tier 1 now.
It's still going to keep going up.
Oh yeah. I said 6 to 6.5 million. Was where I thought it was going to cap out, and I'm beginning to
5.5, and I'm going to be way wrong.
Yeah, I could see it eclipsing 6.5. I don't know, man. The Dota community just never ceases to amaze, dude.
It really every year this keeps getting more and more ridiculous.
As we can see, the lag continuing to be a bit of an issue. Overall, difference in gold earned, about 3.5K in favor of North American Rejects. We're at 10.5 minutes, so that's certainly not insurmountable, but well worth mentioning, and that's about to get a little bit wider, as it looks like they're going to be able to take the Tier 1 uncontested. And no, they're going to go in, they're going to try to grab Snaking. The tower was destroyed, there's a disruption, and coming behind it, they're going to try to catch him. Quakefoot couldn't get in the range, Moonlight Shadow looks like they just want to run, and Snaking, even though he got caught, is not going to be able to, they're not going to be able to follow up on him. The rest of Liquid Arrow, who almost caught 2 targets, but a little off on both. And that's just a flat-out win. They got the last hit on the tower. Marana is actually the one that took it, so after her death at top, certainly a nice little catch-up for her. And it looks like they want to continue pressuring.
Yeah, the struggle for this Ursa has been real this game. He's having like reverse performance he did the last game.
Yep.
And it's not his fault. It's just the way Ursa is. It's not a comeback hero.
Yep.
It's a hero you want to be ahead of and stay ahead and keep the advantage. He's just forced to try and do Roche, do Ancients, do whatever he can, because there's not much on the map he can. He can't do anything in the team fights right now, so he's struggling very hard right now, which is going to be a problem for them.
What's the game plan, you think, in reaction to that? Given how much of a problem he's having, they're beginning to lose map control. All 3 Tier 1s are down. 2 Tier 1s still standing for Gnar. In fact, only 1 tower down in the whole game for them. Like, okay, let me put it this way. If you're in Team Liquid shoes, what are you anticipating Gnar's plan's going to be over the next 5 to 10 minutes, and what's your response to what you anticipate you're going to see?
I mean, their game plan, they should have expected they wanted to take all the Tier 1s. After that, they can kind of play laid back now. So they need to try and get these Tier 1s. I said it's really important for map control, whoever gets these Tier 1s. And now that Gnar has it, they probably have all their core items up. I don't know what Darkseer has yet. Marana has at 2.6k gold. She's doing great on items. Lycan has Vlad's and the Midas, so he's going to keep farming. He wants to keep farming. So I think they just sit back, get their core items up for now. Enigma close to his mech as well. So if you're Team Liquid, you just want to wait for that mech, which is getting very, very close. Actually, he has it on Enigma. Not physically on, but he has the money. But they're going for a 5-man smoke ink, it looks like. Black Hole is up this fight. The last 2 fights, he had opportunities to Black Hole, but unfortunately after solo killing Korok with on top lane, it was on cooldown.
Yeah, you can tell Gnar, even the Marana being as far as she was a little risky, but she's the only one who's anywhere near a threat. Or being threatened, I should say. As mech's coming out on both sides now, Brax has his up in the Darkseer, and Dunn as well on the side of Team Liquid. And it seems like they need to do something risky. I mean, they're going for a smoke now. As is Gnar, though, and if they end up losing a fight here, this could just about be backbreaking. And Fog's going to be sent in. Quick reaction from Demon. There's a disruption nonetheless, and they're ready to follow up. Arrow on the money, and Static Storm Kinetic Field goes down, and TC is there. Here's the lasso out. They're going to be able to bring Brax down. The rest of them hemmed up behind it, but now TC accosted amidst his teammates, and NAR on the charge. Way too likely to die, will die, no doubt about it. Wolves pretty strong as our auto attacks. And that's going to be a 3-for-1 exchange. And behind that, they're actually, trying to find safety. Bulba.
There's no mana right now.
Yep.
Oh, they're going to get him.
Yep, there's the Shadow Poison, and oh, they did manage to catch him. So now they're engaging once again, and Bulba just doing what auto attacking he can, wasting as much time as possible, I suppose, but finally brought down with some Shadow Poison and Fog with a nice kill of his own.
Yeah, that max Shadow Poison is ridiculous. I think it does like around 1,000 damage when you have 5 stacks now.
Yep.
Absolutely insane. But yeah, DK was not in that fight. They got the perfect hero with the disruption. Like, Enigma had their mech. I don't know if he had it physically on him. I don't think he did, but he had the Black Hole. And killing him instantly pretty much means they win the fight. Quake on top lane looks like he's going to get another tier 1, the second one, just going in for this. Should be an easy kill.
Radiant's top
Right
tower
there, try to get the deny. A little bit of lag. We can see them stuttering again, so expect another pause momentarily. TC's items look just about exactly the same as they have for the last, 7 minutes.
Yeah, let's compare that last fight on what Ursa accomplished compared to the last game.
Exactly.
Not much. He was able to get some damage on Brax. Didn't kill him with his full combo. Last time he clapped and like killed everyone in like 3 seconds. This game, he's hardly having an impact, and it doesn't get better for Ursa. It only gets harder as the heroes start to tank up.
Well, and the problem is going to be is Gnar is getting sufficiently far ahead in their item progression that they're going to be able to just start fighting constantly on Liquid's side of the map. And if they take a win, say in mid lane, that's going to be a Roshan right afterwards because the respawn timers are now getting to that point. Speaking of, disruption in mid, arrow on the mark.
Beautiful arrow.
TC brought down very easily. And there's going to be a weave to send him running once again. He's down for 30 seconds. And let's see if they want to go Roche, if they want to try to pursue us out. Poison touch on the
Level
demon.
1 only, so I'm not going to do too much there. He went for the max Shadow Wave build, which means every time they get this disrupt off, their only initiation right now is
Dire's
basically
middle
Fog
tower
with this
is under
disruption.
attack.
But in fairness, Fog has been on point.
Yeah. He's been doing it really well. That's why that was basically my point. Like, he's their only initiation, which is very weird, but it's been working.
Love this combo, man. Shadow Demon Dazzle.
I also
Mirana.
love
So
this
strong.
Ion Wolf combo.
Yeah.
It's always fun to watch. How am I dying?
Hanging out,
Dire's
keeping an eye on things,
structures are
and
fortified.
these towers. Oh, wow, there's an arrow that
Dire's
catches
bottom
Demon as he tried to
tower
come
is
uphill. That's a
under
solo
attack.
kill. And that's just not the sort of thing they can afford at this point. Ursa has been such a non-factor and looks to be one for quite some time. They can't be giving away solo kills anymore. They cannot have anyone else falling further behind. Map control
Dire's
continues to
bottom tower.
diminish as they
Roche
lose.
being pinged next.
Yep. Tier 2 down. And I don't even know what they can do. I mean, Enigma's down for 15 seconds, but even with the Enigma there, I just don't know that they'll have the damage so long as they're well positioned enough. I mean, you're going to have Grave to bail someone out, you're going to have Disruption to bail someone out, and you're going to Light Shadow to make it so you can just retreat.
Right, and the only advantage they do have at the Roche pit will be the Bat Rider. It's always hard to fight against the Bat Rider in the Roche pit. He can pull you up to high ground, just get you away from your team, and it's very hard to deal. So they chose not to do it.
Yeah.
Just playing it safe, but they need to make sure that Roche is
Dire's
not
middle
taken
tower is under
by
attack.
Liquid. And it looks like a smoke's coming out. Good game sense. It looks like they're all backing up or grouping up together, or never mind, Fog might be running into it.
Yep. Oh, this is, there we go. Managing to get sneaking. I was going to say, could be bad. There's a disruption to try and buy some time. Brax caught inside the Static Storm kinetic field. They're going to try to turn this around. Koikva in trouble. Down to half health. Has to retreat up to the high ground. Vacuum brings him back, and he's down. And this is, oh, look at Brax. Brax makes it away. With less than 50 HP, there's going to be a glimpse back onto Snaking. He's just going to go ahead and counter word why he's about it. Arrow, ooh, barely dodged by Demon and company. 9-2 though, and Gnar is absolutely rolling. And I'll tell you what's making this even more difficult. It's been long enough now that Midas has paid for itself, and it's just pure gravy. He's got Vlad's and a book done as we speak.
Yes. Right now, everything that Gnar wanted to accomplish in their game, they did. This is Gnar's strength. Whenever they get these, I feel like whenever they get these tier 1 towers,
Dire's
all
middle
3 of them
tower
in
is under
succession,
attack.
they just roll. And they're showing it right now. They're just going to keep rolling down here. And what can Liquid do? Like, we were worried about this
Dire's middle
Ursa
tower
last time,
has
about what
fallen.
it can accomplish. It blew everyone's mind, but we were expecting Ursa to have a little harder game, just like this one. Well, maybe not this hard, but this Ursa pick, I'm not feeling it right now, especially if you plan on sacrificing.
Oh, demonic purge onto the courier of the
Dire's
wolves.
courier has been
Yes, they do get it.
Wait, did it do the damage?
Yes, it did.
Purge actually did damage to the courier. Wow, I didn't know. I thought it was magic immune.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. Look, I thought the wolves were going to have to chase it down
Yeah,
from behind.
me too.
Book 2 off of that, though. So another big win for NAR. But just to build on your point, I think this is something that everyone in the house here has been talking about. NAR's strength is they know how to be aggressive and push an advantage, but they also know how to just be patient. And we've seen that. Like you said, they take all the tier 1s, then they choke you out, then they go, all right, hang on, we need 60 seconds, 90 seconds to get an item up. They pull back, stay very safe, don't let themselves be smoke ganked, don't let themselves give up easy deaths or dumb deaths. Then they just push again. And it seems like Liquid in this game in particular is struggling to make up ground because of that, because they got behind early. But do you think this is really the way to answer this Ursa? Just keep pressure on him?
Yeah, I mean, it is the way you can answer it, but you can only answer it if their team allows you to. Like,
Right.
Liquid pretty much handed this Ursa lane on a silver platter, just like to go aggressive with this Enigma pick. So I think their laning troubles isn't the Ursa's problem, it's more so picking up this Enigma. And then they might go for another initiation.
Yep.
The disruption initiation too strong.
Arrow. So strong. Snaking's
So
right there,
strong, no
but
detection.
Shadowblade.
That's actually weird. They dedicated 4 heroes and not a single one of them had detection on them.
Jim on the way to 1437 as we speak. But yeah, I was going to say Disruption Arrow, Initiation Strong. You know, that's pretty good, Dust. Dust
Yeah.
is all right.
Dust Sentry Wards, Book
wins
3.
games.
They're gonna have. They're not gonna have problems with detection anymore. They're gonna have Book 3 very soon and a gym. So I think that's the last time we see a mistake like that from Gnar.
Ursa is catching up moderately, but when you look at the overall net worth, he's right in the range of Dazzle, to put it into perspective.
Yeah.
That's a full Mjolnir done, by the way, on the Mirana. Arrow shot, arrow misses. But the like the minus is kicked in. Book 3, if it's not out already, it will be momentarily on the Lycan.
This is going to be ugly. When you put that Mjolnir buff on the Lycan who just gets in there and you just start shooting lightning's going to be going everywhere, and it's going to be very hard to deal with. In fact, unless they kill this Mirana right away, I don't even see how they can win this team fight. And they have Book to deal with on top of that and the Lycan. I actually have no idea how they plan on taking these fights unless a Demon finishes this, his Blink Dagger, which he's getting close to, and gets an amazing hole off.
I was actually just going to say the same thing. Like, think about the problem creeps are now becoming. You've got a Book 3 to cope with, but you also have max level wolves with an ion shell on one of them. Like, what do the supports even do? Like, how do you even cope with that?
It's very hard. Like, if Disruptor has no items on him, he's forced to just buy sentries just because they keep doing the Ion Shell Wolf combination, which will straight up kill that Disruptor if he follows him. So, yeah, they don't have much choice but to just sit here, play back, wait for that Blink Dagger, and they're going to give up a lot of map positioning, and they're going to give up Roche for it. But I don't think they have a choice.
Yeah, I'm sure they had to suspect that this was going to be coming when they moved all the way to that top lane. It's getting down the desperation time in this game anyway. And we can see, we're talking a 5-digit gold lead at 20 minutes. So they've earned about 500 gold per minute lead through the first 20 minutes of this game. That's how dominant this team has been. And they're ready to collapse into bottom. And I think they may. This is going to be kind of a Hail Mary at the moment for Liquid. They have to win this. If they lose a Rax, it's donezo.
Yeah, if they lose this team fight or do not repel this team fight, I think there's going to be GG's right after.
4-stop done on Bat. Have yet to see much from the Enigma pick. They're going to need something pretty big here. Weave went down, only caught Koikfa. But yeah, look, I mean, the tier 3 is already down to half. They're coming out. Bat needs a good initiation. They really need a big play from Demon. They're going to have it if they continue the siege anyway. We'll see if NAR. I mean, they've got an Aegis. Yeah, they're going to fake back actually and smoke immediately, and now just hang out and wait.
If they don't find a pig here, they might just wait for the Necro Book to come up. It's up in 20 seconds. Glyph is down. They can just put all of their summons on that, and it should be an easy tower. But it looks like they want to find a pick first. We will see if they can find it. No, Koika has been really quiet this game. I feel like going Shadowblade against a team like Gnar who 5-mans a lot is not the right choice. He's just been farming the whole game, not going to team fights. That's mainly because he's going Shadowblade over BKB. So he needs to find a way to get into this game.
There's the book deployed, as you said, arrow shot. That'll be very close to TC. Weave actually didn't catch anything there. Demon hanging around behind. They're going to need a big play from him. Here comes Bulba. Bulba's bat looking for it and goes in. And wow, actually, just whiffed it completely. He's down. And now with the tier 3 down, they're going to defend for their lives. Coming out of that's going to be TC. TC's going to drop immediately. Beautiful Static Storm. Kinetic Field, though, isn't enough to turn this fight around. Koikfa ends up dropping. And Snaking still standing at the end of it all. The gem's down on the ground. TC and Koikfa both spending buybacks. So they end up losing just the tier 3. And it cost them very dearly, though, and I think that might be the very definition of a Pyrrhic victory. They won, but man, was it an expensive win.
Yeah, but to be fair, they couldn't have asked for a better Static Storm initiation.
Oh, definitely.
Like, that went a lot better than I thought it would for them, but I think once they reset and go, it's going to be, if they get it was with TC and Dragonite who rebought there, so if either of those heroes die again, the game's going to be completely over. So it's going to be, how can they defend their base again? Bulba went in, didn't get the lasso, found himself getting purged. So this next fight, they're going to have to hit that lasso on top of a beautiful Static Storm again. If they don't get everything together perfectly, they have no chance of defending this base.
Well, they didn't even use the Aegis there either.
No.
So they're going to be able to just reset, and get everything off of cooldown again, and run down mid at that Naked Rax once again. But just to build on the point you made right before that fight broke out, we were talking about during the draft, it's kind of going to have to be the Koikfa show, especially with TC getting such a bad start on the Ursa. And like you said, we just haven't seen that. I mean, it's not that he's played particularly poorly. He just hasn't had much impact. He's been fairly ineffective.
Yeah, he has not been able to accomplish too much, and it looks like we have the Dragonite. He's going to spot out Fog, but he does
behind that, big fight in AR. Caught by Wei-Tzu. Wei-Tzu ends up dead. There's a disruption. Looks like he wanted to engage on the Fog, then wanted to run. Now the follow-ups there. Weave coming out, and Koikfa vacuum back to his death. And remember, no buyback for him. That's a full 65 seconds. He's down. They could take the tier 2 very simply right now. That's probably the best call given. The other lanes are a bit shoved. They also have to decide if they want to defend this bottom tier 1.
I think they let the bottom tier 1 die, take the tier 2 top, and then Snaking rotates mid and goes for a Rax attempt.
Is under attack.
Looks like that's the plan.
Or Snaking could split push top. I think that would be fine as well. They got 40 seconds with no DK, and the other heroes are not well equipped to fight. Snaking, I mean, Dragonite is their most farmed hero. The net worth chart is disgusting. Snaking is out of control right now as far as net worth goes. I don't know. He has an Aegis on top of him as well.
No, these racks are done. They're not even trying to contest.
Yeah, he's just gonna split push. They have to decide where they want to defend.
It's too late.
Can they defend?
It's too late in mid. There's none. They're not going to stop that. So they're just going to set and maybe try to get a kill on Snaking. But Snaking again is in great shape. Like if they kill him, he's going to be fine with that. Now they're going to go for it, and he missed again. No, it looks like he was trying for the lasso, and I didn't see if he whiffed it or if it was just good maneuvering. If that was a leap or something from Korok. Arrow going to be shot. It's going to miss, and they're just going to lose both racks. Like here comes TC trying to get brave about it. Koikfa's back up, and TC just melts immediately. Disruption onto the lasso target. Korok going to come out of that just fine. 2 sets of racks down when all's said and done, and I'm not sure how much longer this game's going to continue. There's a glimpse back on 1437, but here comes the rest of his team. Yeah, the rest of his team comes in. They're ready to follow it up. There's a vacuum that actually causes the arrow to miss. There's a black hole. Gets everyone.
5-man black hole there.
They needed it, but it's too late. Like, they got what they needed, but it just comes out when too much damage has been done. They're going to end up getting a full 5-man wipe out of it, but the Lycan's going to come back up off of the Aegis. Koikfa can't really engage. He's too low. And yeah, Snaking, he's actually being blocked now. Koikfa right there with the Dragon Tail. Let's see if they can make it 6. Kinetic Field is down. They cage the beast. Do they have the Flame Break is actually off the mark. And he's actually going to turn and just go for it. It looks like Bulba going to be pursued back towards as well. And Snaking running back. He's got 7,500 gold in the bank. He's just buying stuff. Yeah, he's just going to go buy a BKB. while I'm about it, while I'm here, I'll go ahead and do some shopping. You know, he's out running errands. But
that was a highlight-worthy black hole, but unfortunately, it's not going to change the outcome of the game.
Well, but that's the thing. It's like, even as a caster, I can't get excited about it because by the time it came, the damage is done. It's like, all right, 5-man black hole after 2 sets of racks are down and nothing happened to prevent that.
Right.
So, well played by Demon, just too little too late. And it looks like Liquid's going to continue to extend the game, but I'm not sure for how much longer.
Yeah, not much to say. Like, they can try to defend their bottom tower. And if it doesn't work, like they have to defend for another 15-20 minutes if they want to get back into this game. And the odds of that are very, very slim. So we're going to see one more push bottom. Liquid does not want to throw in the towel after getting that 5-man hole. Maybe Demon's like, I can do it again, guys.
Yeah.
Just hold on.
They're going to need it.
But we'll see.
They're going to need it.
And too bad the cooldown is going to be another 90 seconds. So what's their plan until that's off cooldown?
Just want to say, by the way, the support play on the side of NAR has been off the charts, man.
Yeah.
It has really been a standout performance from Fogged and 1437.
Right.
That combination, Dazzle and Shadow Demon, not just in laning phase, but through the whole game.
Just going to go in there. Do they have the gem on him?
They have a gem somewhere, and he's going to, reveal himself, and now they're going to come back. There's a vacuum to bring him back into the wall. TC can't even get into the fight. Koikfa now could be in some trouble. He's being pursued out. That's going to be that.
That's going to be a GG.
Yep, he's down for the count. GG called. And not sure what the whole plan was there. They kind of came in weirdly, and maybe a little miscommunication, but
just the last stance kind of thing, I guess.
Well, I mean, they just came in with no support. Like TC ran in, saw his friends die, went nope, turned around and started taking off for the base again. But another dominant performance this time, though. They flipped the script, and NAR runs over Team Liquid. It's a sub 30-minute game, though. In truth, most of the work that determined the outcome of this game was done much earlier.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the Enigma pick really, really hurt them. Ursa's not a hero you can just sit there.
Right. Well, it's like we said. I mean, we talked about, even before we saw the Enigma pick, I proposed the idea of do aggressive tri-lane, take the chance, just because if you can hold the Ursa down, he's really not going to catch up. And then, like you said, they basically just said, yeah, you can do that, go for it. We're going to pick Enigma. How do you guys feel about it?
It was strange.
Yep.
Yeah, the moment I saw the picks, I was like, this is where you just go tri-lane for an AR.
Yeah.
It was just such an easy setup, and the problem with Ursa is he really isn't that flexible in his laning. They could have potentially tried to put him mid, but I don't think that would have been much better. And Ursa in the off lane, no matter whether it's solo or aggressive tri-lane, he just doesn't really do that much. Like
Right.
Fear says, it's the type of hero you need to safeguard.
Right. The only
And
thing
Enigma can't do that.
Yeah, the only thing I could have considered them doing is put the Batrider up there and then put the Ursa against the Darkseer. Maybe that.
Yeah,
could have worked.
perhaps.
But then